Nancy, what you have to always remember, and I know that you are trying to remember this, but I want to reiterate it for you, is that for me, it's always about shape of hair, then shape of face. And the shape of face is the container that houses the features. And right now, your features are not fitting into the container of the face. So if I just very quickly try my very best to tweak this, I'm just going to move the microphone over. Actually, I need to get this a little bit more centered. Okay, so I'm looking for maybe some tweaks. So far, so good. Okay, and this. And this. Okay, so this is what I would be doing in the classroom if we were drawing with a model. These would be my first lines. I'm basically, I hate to repeat, I hate to even say what I'm going to tell you because it's so repetitious and I'm really boring with this stuff. But I'm just doing an angle drawing of the edge of the face. This is how I like to draw it. Now, there's many different teachers that teach many different techniques, but this is what I like to do. Now, you can't leave it there. You have to get that neck. And he's got a very skinny neck because he's thin as a rail. And now I'm going to get the collar in relationship with the ear. So I think I'm going to lift this up and this in relationship. So that looks pretty good. So that's step number one, the edge. And that's quite frankly the hardest step. Step number two is where the hair touches the face. So you're doing good. This is great. The ears just needed to be adjusted. And I'm not saying my lines are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So now we need to get this guy's goatee, and I see something over here. This needs to be moved over. So I said, what did I say before I even started doing this? That your features were not placed inside of the face right. That's because the goatee was a little too big. I'm going to start there. And this, for me, is more important than any other part of the piece. It's placing the hair versus the skin. Because the hair, in this case with the goatee, is just going to act like a frame. And when you put in this shape like I'm doing right now, it's going to help you to see things clearer. Now with the hair, again, I'm not saying mine's perfect, but this is the front plane of his hair. Okay. So now the next thing that I do is I do my eyebrows, and I look at the distance from the edge of the eyebrow to the edge of the hair, the edge of the eyebrow to the top of the hair, this top, that edge, okay? And this doesn't look bad. So I think your eyes are a little too big. So I'm looking at where the edge of this eyebrow is in relationship to the edge of his hair. I'm just going to place the bottom of the nose. That looks pretty good. And yeah. That eye needs to be smaller. This eye needs to be smaller. And we're going to connect. So that's a lot. Now the rest of what I would do is the line that separates. And it's confusing because in all of these types of movies, they have multiple light sources. And that just throws a monkey into the mix of complication, and his face has dirt all over it. But I'm going to try, not with that tone. . There's warm light, there's cool light. It's insane. It's really complicated. So I'm going to leave it there, but that's my process, okay? Um, let's look at the original. His hair is close. His features are too big. I made his hair bigger. I made his features smaller. Okay? Of course, I can keep going and I can keep tweaking it. Nose is a little too wide. All the light is here. I would force it on his cheekbone, just tops of his ears. It's the most confusing. I'm confused between the dirt on his face and the two light sources, maybe even three. It's hard. Yeah, but it's fun. I hope I gave you some ideas. Just shape a hair, shape a face, get the ears, pull the level lines across and all that jazz. Okay? Try your very. It's not the worst photo compared to what you've shown me in the past. Because 2 weeks ago it was like horrendous. Like this one, I could draw this one. It's hard with the three things. There's two colored lights hitting his face, and there's dirt on his face. So it makes the value structure all over the place. I could even argue that there's three lights. There's a top light, there's an orange light, and there's a cool light. So complicated. I'm looking at his garment on the bottom, and there's light coming from below. So there's that too. So it's chaos. And of course, I could keep working on this, try to make it a little bit better than what I've done. But that's how I do this stuff. I do it in the same system. When you do the same system over and over and over again, that's when you get good. Artists don't necessarily like systems because they're more analytical than creative, but with portraits, I think there needs to be more analytical. Now, with all this being said, I know that this is what you're trying to do. Just your proportions were off a little bit, but it's still all very good, okay? All right, I'm going to save this. Save as. And let's close this. And let's move on to the next image.